With Giga closing, what does this mean for the future of massive roller coasters here in the United States? Will we see another strata coaster or Giga coaster? I'm going to get into that, as well as talk about some of the history of Giga and some of the failures of these massive coasters. The year was 2003, and Cedar Point launched Top Thrill Dragster for the first time. But Six Flags Great Adventure had something in the works. Something massive. And in 2005, we saw Giga.
At Six Flags Great Adventure, Giga is now open. Today, trains are loading. Today, people are launching at an incredible 128 miles per hour and soaring 456 feet in the air. Today, ride the tallest, fastest roller coaster on Earth because Giga is now open.
These were the first and only two strata coasters ever built. Soon enough, both parks would realize that the maintenance on both of these roller coasters was absolutely insane. It's said that Giga is roughly $1 million to operate each season. You may be wondering why I'm talking about the rise and fall of Giga and Top Thrill Dragster. Well, Cedar Fair and Six Flags merged together, becoming Six Flags. And obviously, with the merger, certain cuts have to be made, whether it be maintenance, letting certain parks go, and things of that nature. These two amusement park corporations didn't merge together because they were both doing well. No, they both have a bunch of debt, and they basically have to get rid of some assets. With the absolute failure of Top Thrill 2, there is no doubt this played a role in what their decision was going to be with Giga. Does this mean we're going to see another massive coaster to take the place of Giga? With all the budget cuts being made, the US economy not doing very well, the cost of steel going up roughly 25% in the last 3 or 4 years. To put that in perspective, what Carowinds paid to have Fury 325 built was roughly $30 million. In today's market, it would be over $40 million to have that same coaster built. And I think these parks are looking at these expenses and saying, is it worth it for us to build a $40 or $50 million roller coaster, or throw a $10 million roller coaster in that's more family oriented? And that's what we're seeing these days. More family-oriented coasters, because in all actuality, you're only getting a certain clientele that is coming there to ride a massive coaster. And although they do bring a lot of guests into the park, these parks are realizing that so do some of these smaller coasters. Looking at 2025 is like looking back at 2024, the year of the small family coasters, with the exception of a few. Now, of course, you've got Rapterra opening at King's Dominion. That's probably the most thrilling coaster for the 2025 season. And of course, the dive coaster that's going in at Six Flags Great America. And the last minute coaster that Cedar Point decided to surprise the world with in Siren's Curse. You may be wondering, what does all of this have to do with Giga? And the point I'm trying to make is, costs have gone up like insane. What Six Flags paid for Giga in 2005 was about $25 million. That same roller coaster would probably be pushing $50 million in today's market. Now, if you ask me, do I think they're going to get something thrilling to replace Giga? I absolutely believe it is in the future and probably in the works. Do I think it's going to be the same size or taller? Probably not. I'd love to hear what everybody else thinks. I always love when you guys comment, and please be sure to give this video a like. Really do appreciate that as well. For years, America has been so dominant when it comes to these massive roller coasters. It all started with Magnum XL 200 and of course Millennium Force, both located at Cedar Point and both incredible coasters depending on who you ask. Logistically, it doesn't make sense given the financial situation that Six Flags is in right now for them to add any coaster with any size and a high dollar price tag. Going forward, Six Flags plans to trim the fat They're going to get rid of any roller coaster or ride that has large costs when it comes to maintenance. They're just getting started. There's going to be numerous other rides that are going to close and never open again. Coasters that are prone to issues or never seem to be operating are probably on the chopping block. The key word here is return on investment, and Six Flags is much better off getting these smaller family coasters, paying a quarter of the cost of a larger scale coaster, still giving people something to get excited about. This was so evident to me this past year when I saw Dorney Park make the height requirement for Iron Menace 48 inches, making this a more family-friendly coaster. I believe that the mini B&M dive coasters are the future, as well as these tire launch coasters, being the fact that they are much easier to maintain than, let's say, an LSM launch coaster. Much more cost-effective and much more family-friendly. The days of Cedar Fair and Six Flags chasing records are over. At least the records that we all care about, height and speed. They're going to go after small records, like steepest drop, most inversions on a dive coaster, things like that. They're also looking at which manufacturers have the best reliability, the best capacity, and offer a product that'll bring somebody in the gates. So B&M seems to be the manufacturer of choice when it comes to Cedar Fair and Six Flags. Now that they're merged together, I imagine going forward, B&M is still going to be their top dog. Business-wise, it makes a lot of sense for them to use B&M. I would say they do offer a thrilling product. Definitely the wing coasters. The launch wing coaster at King's Dominion for next year is probably the best coaster of 2025 in my opinion that's coming out. We still don't know the future of Top Thrill 2. This appears to be probably the best coaster of the year. Again, another coaster that's just offering fastest winged launch coaster. Well, there's only one other winged launch coaster in America, so they didn't really have to set the bar very high. Now, this is just all my opinion. Take it with a grain of salt, but I'd love to know what everybody else thinks. I don't believe I'm the only one that feels that we are on a downward spiral as far as getting some of these larger coasters here in the United States. Thanks so much for watching. Hope everyone has a great day.